Call to order a regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the Vallecitos Water District Board, Wednesday, March 20th at 5 p.m. Mr. Snell, can we have the Pledge of Allegiance?
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Diane, may we have a roll call, please?
Director Ellithorpe?
Here.
Director Evans is notated absent. Director Hernandez?
Here.
Director Sinella?
Here.
Director Martin?
Present.
Thank you.
I need a motion to adopt the agenda for
So
the
moved.
regular meeting.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Public comment, I see no public here. Notice to the public, no public here. I don't see Bridget here.
No,
Yeah,
she's
Bri-
sick. You get me tonight.
Yeah, Bridget's not with us tonight, but Ed will be making
Ed,
the
you're good,
introduction.
but you're really,
He's no Bridget.
yeah, you know Bridget, yeah.
Yes, as you noticed, I'm no Bridget. President Martin, members of the board, I present to you Justin Shutt. He's a construction worker one that started with us just on Monday, on the 18th. So he's fresh off the boat, hasn't learned any bad habits from us yet, but we're working on it. Justin actually replaces a construction worker that went to the Water Authority. So they actually stole one from us. He went to the maintenance department over there. Yes. I have him. Prior to the district, Justin worked at SCL Electric in Rancho Santa Fe, so he has an electrical background. So we find that illuminating and shocking, actually. In Justin's free time, he enjoys hiking, going to the desert, and the Colorado River. And he'd be happy to answer all your questions.
Oh.
Hope you have many.
I have a couple. Where do you live?
I live right here in Escondido off Country Club.
Oh, right there in Escondido.
Yeah, right over there.
Not here in
No.
San Marcos.
Nearby.
Okay, that's close by. Country Club?
Yeah.
Do you actually live in the Country Club?
No, not in the Country Club, no.
And where did you work before this?
I worked for SCL Electric. It was a small residential electrical company, but we were doing new homes and also doing remodels.
All right. So you've been here all of 3 days. How do you like it?
Oh, it's going good so far. Yeah. Like everyone in the department and already learning new things, so.
Don't believe the stories you hear about Ed. We've done a lot to quell that.
I heard him.
Yeah.
Sounds
He was
good.
only in for 3 years. Things
Those records are sealed.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. Anyone else? Any questions?
Oh, I'd just like to say welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
Good to have you.
Welcome
Good to have you
aboard.
here.
Have a good trip.
Hope to
Thank
see
you.
you here with your 10th anniversary,
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys.
if we're all here.
Good job, Ed.
I'm no Bridget. Sorry.
No, thank goodness. Next, we have a presentation. I am glad to see you here, Chris. The more of this we can show and get out on San Marcos TV, the happier we'll all be, I'm sure.
I appreciate that, President Martin. Well, last week I was here and I showed a video, or last board meeting, showed a video that was about smoke testing. It's very involved, a lot of narration in that one. This video that we're going to show, it's a lot shorter. This was Alicia out with Mike Hill, taking a look at mechanical and electrical. And what you're going to see is a pump replacement. And everything you're going to see is exactly what you expected to see. But it's going to be, you know, a lot of us haven't really seen a pump go in. The fun part about it, it's going to confirm everything that you expected. So without further ado, we're going to show the video.
Great.
Yep.
Can you put this on hold? Where is this pump? What size is it and where is it being installed?
This one's going into lift station 1. What size is it? Do you know that?
Actually, I can't tell by which one they're pulling there, so.
So it's the one on San Marcos Boulevard.
Yep.
How many pumps do we have in there?
4.
And this is just one of the 4 being replaced
Yes.
or refurbished?
That one, I think the motor was refurbished.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And we get nice stone tops.
A lot of work for 5 minutes.
You know, and the point being is how long it would take to show you the full process, you know, start to finish, you know, 3 or 4 hour job gets turned into a, 2-minute video.
Yeah.
So it's 3 to 4 hours?
About that, yeah.
Yeah, not including travel time.
Does that crew do all of our pump, those 4 guys we saw there, the majority of them, they doing all of our pump replacements, or are there other people as well?
Yeah, the mechanical electrical department handles all of that. There's different tools for working on water and sewer for a good reason. And some of them are specialized in one or the other, but they're handling all of it.
Director Snell?
So, Chris, first off, cool video, thanks for sharing it, but what's the plan? How are you gonna get it out there? We saw, the 3 of us actually were at water reuse the last couple of days, and it seemed like a lot of the districts that were being honored for one thing or another, there was little video clips that they had put together to kind of showcase whatever it was they were doing to earn getting honored. So what I found was I was watching that it was very effective, and this too could probably act that way if we can get it out to the public. So what's the plan?
Absolutely, and so at the last board meeting I was at, we showed the smoke testing video, and the plan is to have a whole suite of videos that basically, I'm calling them the work we do, just showing videos of the work that we do, and smoke testing, sampling testing, we're gonna go over and do customer services, we're gonna do engineering, so kind of each of the individual departments, show them, have them on social media, have them on our website, and then, as Director Hernandez mentioned, put them together as a package and go for an award with them. But San Marcos TV, the web, social media,
Okay.
all those formats.
Super. I was not at the last meeting, so that's why I must have missed that part.
Yeah.
So that's good to know.
Yeah, it's unlikely that any individual video would be eligible for an award, but the program, the putting it together is probably what we'd be searching for awards for.
I would like to say, as part of the public outreach thing, one of the things that you hit on, which is critical, is testing. With people being very concerned about their water, I mean, I think an entire video narrated, showing the testing we do, how often we do it, I think that'd be real important to have as a long one.
Yes.
Explain the testing process, show them testing the water, how many hours, or how often during the day is that done. I just think that to put that down to people is very important, especially now. Water quality is a big thing. Now, we can't sell pricing, but we can sell quality. So I'd love to see a really nice video done on that when you have the time to do it.
And as you say, that one is a more complicated video that would require narration.
Yeah, but something the public would really enjoy seeing.
Truly.
Inform them as to what we're doing, because they always say, well, how do you know the water's good? Well, we test it. How often do you test it? I don't know. Lots. A lot of times, every day. You don't know the answer. So that'd be great to have on there.
We'll take
Thank
care
you.
of it.
Thank you very much. Great job.
Sure. That was cool.
Keep up the great work. And keep down the minimum the actors.
Hey,
The wannabe actor.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay, moving right on. Consent calendar. Need a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a-
Second.
And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Action items, we have none. This is gonna be really fast today. My goodness, I can't believe it.
If you get done in 2 minutes, we'll break the record.
No, I don't wanna do that. I don't wanna hear about it. General Manager, do you have a report, sir?
Yeah, so the only thing I wanted to share is that the 7 western states have finally agreed on a drought conservation plan for the Colorado River.
Oh.
So that's good news. So it's been submitted to the Bureau of Reclamation. The Bureau will be looking at the DCP, and they may make modifications to it, but it's an important step on the way to precluding a shortage declaration on the Colorado River. That's all.
That's great. District Legal Counsel.
Just a couple of items. I reported on that Assembly Constitutional Amendment 3, and just keeping you abreast, nothing's moved. That would be it's a proposed constitutional amendment that would set aside 2% of the general fund for water projects. So it's not untypical for those types of things to set, but it hasn't moved. I know Director Hernandez, you were interested in that. One item, I ran across a book that you may be interested in. It's called Thirst for Independence, the San Diego Water Story, over the history of water in San Diego. And I started reading, I found it fascinating. We all take water for granted. When they landed here, ended up going all the way up the San Diego River to where the original Mission Dam was put in. They used to haul water from there to Old Town in barrel trucks. And, it's really interesting that, consistent with the Cadillac Desert, there was nothing here, and now we all take it so much for granted.
Where is that? The story?
It's a book.
It's a book. It's
Oh, a
called
book.
The Thirst for Independence. It's got by an author named Dan Walker, who wrote it's the San Diego water story. So.
Great. Okay. San Diego County Water Authority, we'll wait till next time. Encino Wastewater Authority.
Oh, exciting day today.
Yeah,
We had our capital committee meeting, and the exciting part, although we went through the capital improvement project status and the water reuse stakeholders and the security, we're going through some purchase of software and implementation so we don't get hacked. But what began as part of that conversation was this Hirschberg bill. And of course, at our strategic planning meeting a couple of weeks ago, we definitely put a stake in the ground as to what we're going to do with our south parcel, which is going to be a recycled water project. Unfortunately, the timing seems like it's a 10 or 15 year program before regulations are in place and all that. What came out of this morning's meeting was a smaller review of that to start talking about what we need to do immediately, which is, and unfortunately our water authority member is not here, we need to be identifying to the representative that they need to begin to push the water authority to acknowledge that this is going to be a good thing, because obviously we cannot do it in SENA, and the member agencies cannot do this alone. We're going to need the water authority, their money, their help to get this accomplished. And presently, the water authority goes, in, we don't care, we got all the water we need. Well, some of us believe maybe what's happening, and this is my thought, not what was discussed at the board, at the cabinet meeting. Some of us feel that we're getting the same drift that the water authority and Metropolitan are in that confrontation. And I see Vallecitos and the water authority in a similar confrontation. So the more independent we can become with this water potentiality of Encina, which the selection that they've made is they're ultimately planning to send us 2 million gallons a day to put in our underground aquifer, in addition to other stuff. And it was brought up because Director Martin and I talked in recent past, well, maybe we should just send it to the desal, and it goes right up to Twin Oaks. They can't do that because of the chemical balance. The regulators have said we don't want to mix those two types of water for fear of the corrosion in the pipe. So that will not be a possibility. So it's going to come to us, the example that we're looking at, coming to San Marcos and going to Lake Henshaw with this water and then spreading that around from there. So that was very exciting. That was the Capital Campaign Committee.
If I could piggyback on that, so the legislation that Director Hernandez is talking about is Senate Bill 332, and basically what it says is in the future, they want to get to zero liquid discharge and they want to start recycling all the water. And it affects not only the wastewater agencies like Encina, but it affects the water districts that are affiliated with the wastewater treatment agencies. So Vallecitos will be affected directly as part of that proposed legislation. And just let the board know, I did submit a letter opposing SB 332 as currently worded. So if the board would be interested, I could send you a copy of the letter that I sent out.
And that penalty is $2,000 per acre foot per day, not only to Encina, but to the member agencies. That's $60,000 a day. This is what they were told this morning. So someone mentioned, maybe it was at the conference, that Hertzberg just throws these bombs out there and sees what happens. So
that is
I'm
his
happy to hear
style.
we sent out the opposition letter.
Yeah, and just to tack on that, my thought was never that they would mix seawater with the recycled water. My thought was it would just turn to 100% recycled water. They'd stop taking seawater.
Oh,
That was my thought.
oh, that's interesting.
You know, they
$3
want
billion
100%.
investment, though. What are you going to just give that away?
Well, you still have that investment. You still. The only thing you don't have to worry about putting in a brand new system of taking water in.
If you can't blend them, just a query, if you can't blend them and you use the pipe coming to San Marcos and Twin Oaks
Yeah.
with just recycled water, would you stop taking desal water?
Yeah.
So then you have a $3 billion asset that's stranded?
Well, it was $1 billion asset. It's not stranded. It's now
I thought it was
instead of
$3 billion.
instead of taking water out of the ocean, it's taking water from Encina.
Mm-hmm.
It's still doing the same thing. It's cleaning it up and it's sending it back to the pipe. That was my thought.
Ah,
But
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. No.
But I think that in the future, if you have to get rid of 100% of it, then 100% of it has to come back somewhere. And County Water Authority will have to be involved because they have to buy the water. I mean, somebody has to buy it. And how are you going to do that unless they say we don't need the water? What are you going to recycle? What are you going to do?
What's going to be taking place is going to be a stakeholder that they employed our good friends Woodard and Kearns to begin putting together stakeholder meetings. And I asked, who's going to be there? And the coalition, the agencies, because there may be a direct purchase. Instead of going to the Water Authority, that we get to buy direct. So some balance in between, but
That's good.
I will definitely keep an eye on this because I'm interested, and I'm going to ask James at the end to give us a report of what the coalition's been doing here for the last 6 months that we haven't heard
We've
anything.
already given them $5 million in seed money to get that started with.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Is there anything else from legal counsel? We were that far, right?
No, we're-
Oh, you got Encina. Policy and Finance Committee, we had our meeting. It was interesting. Basically, what we did was approve all the things we had talked about at the workshop to make them legal, so it goes to the board meeting for the at the end of this month. No, beginning of next month's board meeting. Standing committees. No?
Nope.
Finance?
We did meet.
Oh, okay.
I was so prepared from all my conferences,
You already reported that out? Or you'll do it next time?
I'll do it next time.
Okay. Director's report on meetings, conferences, and seminars. We'll start with Jim. I'm sorry.
Well,
Director Hernandez.
Yes, I just attended the water reuse, and very interesting. And what struck me so boldly was 9 years ago, the first conference I went to, I should have taken a primer in chemistry because of all the code numbers they use for chemicals and such. But there was one 30-minute segment on reclaimed water. This conference, I think it was all reclaimed water, what needed to be technical, everything. So 9 years in the speed of light, we're moving ahead on that. But there is funding, there's $1 billion available if we're interested in pursuing a demonstration project. We got to get in line with the other 500 people or so, but there is money out there. And there's going to be reclaimed water coming our way.
Okay. Director
Yeah,
Snell.
I attended the same conference. I do agree with Director Hernandez's takeaway that there's going to be reclaimed water coming our way. I don't know if it's going to be direct or indirect, but I think that's the direction we're heading. It was an interesting conference. I went like 3 years ago to water reuse, and I was brand new to the board, and everything was so technical, and it was just right over my head. And that's probably why I didn't go back until now. And the first day on Sunday, I went to the first few sessions of the day, and it was the same thing. Even 4 years later, they were talking foreign language, and I'm thinking, man, this is probably not going to be a very valuable conference. And then on day two, it totally changed. And actually, there was a lot of stuff about public outreach, public perception about reclaimed water, some of the pros and cons and success stories in Orange County and other things that are going on around that it actually started to all kind of come together and make sense to me. So it definitely was worthwhile. And it's interesting when you're at a conference that's specific to one topic like water reuse. You kind of you can overhear kind of the pop shots about desal and other sources of water because they're just laser focused on the one source. That was interesting. Another conference I went to was the Urban Water Institute conference, which was much more kind of open to just in general about various different topics, and some of them were more relevant than others, but it was interesting to listen to some of the Proposition 1 success stories around water storage project grants. Although they called them success stories, it was on the grand scheme of things, it was a drop in the bucket as far as how much money is being spent towards water storage out of Prop 1. There was an update on the Colorado River situation and kind of the contingency planning for the drought stuff that's going on up there. So that was definitely an informative conference. That there was 3 days worth of classes here, so I won't tell you about them all. But those were a couple takeaways that I thought were interesting.
Okay. You did yours.
I attended the Council of Water Utilities group meeting yesterday. They had two presenters on the program. The first was a public relations firm, and they presented a couple of case studies on things public relations projects they've done for a couple different water agencies. And then Glenn Farrell, with the government relations manager with the San Diego County Water Authority, gave a Sacramento legislative update, which was very comprehensive and talked about SB 332 quite a bit, and so pretty interesting.
Okay, I attended, the Urban Water Institute, which I reported out at the last meeting. This meeting, you weren't here, so I won't rehash that one. Then we had an F&I meeting.
Yeah,
We shall let you report next time.
No, Yeah, I remember now.
Okay.
We went with Ed and the finance team and went over, we scrutinized Ed's budget forecasting for the upcoming budget process that we're gonna be going through. And Ed did a fine job in justifying and explaining why he needs the money he needs.
I think you only cut 50% of his budget.
That's it. But
Other than that, it was pretty good.
Such a glass half empty guy. I mean,
And
we left
And
50%.
we left nothing for James. I'm glad James wasn't there. He gets nada.
And Ed came in 50% high because
Yeah.
he knew that was gonna
He
happen.
knew- Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were ready for that one. They said, yeah, we know what's gonna happen. Then water reuse, again, yeah, I think the first day is more for the Eds and James of the world. The second day and third day, they had a lot of public outreach, and that was very interesting on how they're, applying us to be their, they don't wanna pay us to do it, they just want us to be their outreach people on explaining how water reuse is a great thing. But it was interesting, I enjoyed it. Other than reporting out what they already did, I'm done with that, so I'm done with reports.
President Martin?
Yes, sir.
I did want to mention, I forgot, because I went on Sunday, and there was a presentation relative to stormwater capture, which now they're looking, if there's a drop of water coming down your way, you need to be looking at how to utilize it. Years ago, when I first was on the board, everybody, oh no, the grease, the debris, all that. And there are districts now who are getting into capturing some stormwater, separating it out and utilizing it in their recycle programs. So there is hope for that big gush of water that comes down San Marcos Creek. That maybe there's a way to capture that.
I think you're right, and I think once the city, whose responsibility it is, finds a way to deliver it to us, I think we're right there for it.
You betcha.
That's a huge expense. End of reports, I think I'm done. Oh no, what's good for the meeting? I have something I'd like to bring up, meetings, director comments, future agenda items. I know I would like to have a future agenda item almost at every closed session on where we're going with the Santa County Water Authority and the $5 million they owe us, how soon we're getting it back, how are they paying it to us, and how those negotiations are going. Personally, that's the only thing I have. Anybody else have anything you want agendized?
Yes,
Director Hernandez?
I would like, because one of the things that was discussed at the capital campaign was the discussion of the stakeholders. One of the stakeholders is the North County Coalition. And we haven't heard about those folks in, well, geez, I don't know how long, quite a long time. So I was wondering if we could have, I think James is our representative, he could give us an off-the-cuff what's been going on, if anything's been going on.
Sure.
For future agenda.
Okay, I think, are you suggesting that it happen right now?
Oh,
Or do you want it
No,
on a future agenda?
Future agenda item?
If it can't happen now, then a future agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since the Director Hernandez wanted James to get up now, would it probably be better to put it on the next agenda?
Okay,
That's what-
you got to be prepared.
You want to get it?
Either way is fine.
No.
All right.
Okay, anything else from anybody? And we call this meeting adjourned.